The final moments of the Allied occupation of Japan, which officially began on September 2, 1945, with the signing of the Japanese instrument of surrender aboard the USS Missouri, marked a significant turning point in both Japanese history and international relations. As the dust settled from the devastation of World War II, Japan found itself in a state of disarray, with its cities largely in ruins and its economy shattered. The occupation was led by General Douglas MacArthur, who was appointed as the Supreme Commander for the Allied Powers, SCAP. His leadership was characterized by a blend of military authority and a vision for democratic reform. Behind the scenes, negotiations and planning were critical as Japan transitioned from a militaristic empire to a nation seeking to rebuild and redefine itself. The initial phase of the occupation focused on demilitarization and democratization, aiming to dismantle Japan's war-making capabilities while establishing a new political framework. This included significant reforms such as land redistribution, labor rights, and women's suffrage, all aimed at fostering a more equitable society. However, these changes did not come without challenges. Resistance from traditionalists and remnants of the imperial government posed obstacles to reform efforts. The complexities of managing Japan's post-war recovery were further complicated by geopolitical tensions, particularly as the Cold War began to take shape. The Soviet Union's declaration of war against Japan just days before the surrender added another layer of urgency to the Allied occupation strategy. As American forces began to arrive in Japan, they faced not only logistical challenges but also the task of winning over a wary populace that had endured years of conflict and suffering. The atmosphere was charged with uncertainty. Japanese citizens were unsure about their future under foreign rule while Allied soldiers grappled with their roles as occupiers in a country that had once been their enemy. Amidst this backdrop, cultural exchanges began to emerge as both sides sought to understand one another better. The final moments leading to the end of the occupation were marked by significant events such as the signing of the San Francisco Peace Treaty on April 28, 1952, which formally ended the state of war between Japan and the Allied powers. By this time, Japan had made considerable strides towards recovery, transitioning into a sovereign nation with a burgeoning economy. The legacy of this period is profound. It laid the groundwork for Japan's emergence as a global economic power while also serving as a case study in successful post-war reconstruction and reconciliation. As we reflect on these final moments of occupation, it becomes clear that they were not merely about ending hostilities but rather about forging new paths toward peace and cooperation in a rapidly changing world.